Um, so this is a very different video. It's also one that I'm actually gonna upload. Surprisingly, I've edited a lot and recorded a lot, but I haven't made the commitment to upload anything. That's not the topic of this. The reason I'm making this is because Evil Dead is genuinely in probably the worst state possible. I want to say, right now. Luckily, there's an update coming very soon, very soon. But right now, it is just ridiculous. As of today, it is 2 a.m. actually, September 3rd. So technically, we should be getting the update in about 5 days. But as of right now, the game is practically unplayable for survivors. The only way survivors can go anywhere past the dagger and pages is if the demon is quite literally a brand new player and does not know anything. And even then, they could still get kills. They might not be able to win, but they can still very easily get kills. It is insane how demon sided this game is and how demon brained a lot of the demon streamers are, especially Alucard. Alucard, no hate to him. I'm pretty sure he's a nice guy, but in person, but from what I've seen of his streams and clips and stuff, and I've watched a few streams, not all the way through, but like a good portion of them. Like I've had him on the background while hearing him, and the attitude he has towards playing the game, like granted he's good, yeah, right, but there is no doubt in my mind that because the way, like, even if you are the best player in the entire game, you will lose sometimes. You have to lose sometimes, right? But the fact that he is winning on such a consistent basis, and you will almost never see him lose every game that you, unless he is literally playing in a private match against people who uh, are 4 players who tested out these these brand new like strategies that survivors can use, then you're just not gonna win. It's just insanely one-sided. And for majority of the time, for the casual audience, when which is about a good 90% of the players, I want to say, is they're just not going to happen. They're not going to be coordinated. Even if all 4 players have mics and talk to each other, they're not going to be that coordinated enough, especially with their character picks. Because at the end of the day, people want to have fun. People want to play the people that they want to play. For instance, I'm mostly Survivor player, as you can tell by this little amount. All this, these 2 are just for XP from me playing them. And then this is actually putting in spirit points and playing Necromancer. And then these are all just all the time that I've had. I will tell you a good amount. If I'm not playing Hunter, Ash, Henry, or AOD Ash, I am having the worst time. Oh, and Cheryl. I am having the worst of my life. And even then, Hunter, Ash, and let's say Scotty are probably the worst. Like I'm still having a pretty bad time. Henry is very less so, but demons get very mad at Henry's and Cheryl's and Hunter Ash's. The thing that I've noticed a lot with Alucard stream, sorry to pick on Alucard, but it's the only really demon streamer that I've ever seen do this on such a consistent basis, is that whenever a survivor is doing anything that would help them, he gets insanely like passive aggressive. Like, and I can't tell if it's satire. I genuinely have zero clue if it's satire. Does that make me an idiot? Maybe. But for someone who has played Demon consistently enough to, I have the platinum, but I have the platinum trophy on this game. So I played a good amount of Demon. And for someone who's played a consistent amount of Demon, consistent amount of, or a good amount of Demon and a good amount of Survivor, I can definitely tell that playing Demon is way more fun. But I thought I would like maybe just playing demon that makes them maybe like going against survivors really is fucking annoying. It's not. It really is not annoying, especially if you're winning, or if let's say there have been times where like, okay, I'm gonna get them on the pages. They just did the dagger. I got some levels from it. I get to do them on. I'll get them on the pages, right? I'll get them on the next objective. Do that. Do as much as I could. I do this strat that I want to try. I was like, okay, put this trap here. Put the flutist up here, and like I just strategize, go in, and it doesn't work. Do I get mad? No, because guess what? The book exists. I don't care because the book exists. Every single time I've played a game where they managed to get the book and the dagger and the pages done, I know that I could just get them on the book, because what happens 90% of the time is that if you do good enough on the book or on the pages and the dagger, you will use all of their resources. And since they have zero time, there's little to no time to loot around, because the places around them have probably already been looted. B, you're on a timer. The circle is closing in. You have little to no time. And C, as soon, because most of the time, the Dark Ones don't have a lot to set up for. So all you really need to do is just mark where they were, where the last objective was, dagger pages, and go to it, and you can stall them even more as a demon. So there's no, they can't loot, so they have to go to the Dark Ones and use with what they got. And at that point, they're just gonna die. They either die at the Dark Ones, or if they have good amount of weapons, that'll last them until the book. Even if they don't have a lot of resources and they're being very stingy, like support's being very stingy with how they use shimps. Like if one person's at low health, two people are low health, nah, all four of them have to be at low health in order for them to pop that shimps. I've seen supports like that, and it works for the most part. But when you only got 3 or 4 shimps as a support, you can only go so far, especially if your other teammates do not have shimps or refuse to drop them for the Cheryl. Same goes with amulets. When it comes to that, it is very, very hard to really to say that like it's 4v1, it should be even, or it's actually survivor sided. That doesn't make any sense, because there are so many things that could stop a survivor from doing anything. There really is. Because you spawn in with nothing. With demon, all you have to do is kind of go around, float around, level up easily. Especially on Castle Kandar, it is so easy to level up, because I believe there was about 4 times in a row the other day. 4 times in a row, 4 games in a row, I spawned at Fort Gort at Castle Kandar. 4 games in a row. If anyone who doesn't know, there are 2 guaranteed chest spots at Fort Gort, right? There are 2 guaranteed ones. And on top of that, there could be more supply crates there. I believe around 6 or 7 possible supply crates. And majority of the time, about 3 or 4 of them spawn, from my experience. So, and supply crates give you insane amount of XP to level up your threat. So having all of those immediately getting to what, level 6 or 7, 3 levels away from getting your boss, that is 6 or 7 points to put in to essentially what is equivalent to getting a weapon, or getting a legendary weapon, or pink F. That is the equivalent, especially since once you get to 6 or 7, and all you need to do is find the either the first map piece or whatever map piece is next after you're done leveling up, or increase demon vision just once, even just once, or if you just know the game well enough, you can just kind of feel out where they are.
Something I've also noticed about Castle Kandar is that even though it is a fun map, I guarantee it's the funnest map to play on for both survivors and demon. Um, it is insanely easy when to tell that when they're at the castle. If their fear is not going up like at all, they're at the castle. They've, I've noticed that so much. If your fear does not go up at all, if you notice the survivor's fear, like if it's been like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and you've noticed they have, like, it hasn't even like gone up and then gone a little bit down, like they've lit campfires, because there's no fire. There's no fires to light at the Castle Kandar. You go outside to light a fire. But the fear does not go up. So there's been so many times where I'm like, oh, the fear's not going up. Let me just go to castles if they're there. They are. 100% of the time, they have been there. So it's very easy to predict where they are, even if you can't find them. And there have been a lot of times where there's been this one time where it was been totally against me, RNG wise. They got some good supply crates, they spawned with an Ed. Got some good supply crates. The dagger and the page were very close, about one zone away from each other. They were very close. And then when it spawned me away after they did the first objective, it spawned me away. I was spawned about 700 yards away from the other objective. Finally got there. They did that one. They spawned me even further. The dark ones, I want to say, and I'm not kidding, were about 1,000 yards away from me. And all I did was hit the book and I won. It was insanely easy. I did not bully them that hard. That was before I got my necromancer to level 45. I think it was like in the 30s, or if not, just barely level 40. But it's insane how much you can like, it's insane how many variables require you to not do well as a survivor, but how little variables there are that make you good as a demon. If you just spec your points into two categories, whether that be basic and possession, or traps and possession, or traps and basic, or whatever, any combination of just two, you will beat the living shit out of the survivors, as long as you focus on whatever enemies you focus your infernal points on. It is absolutely ridiculous how easy it is to play demon. There was another time where this demon was about level 5 for about half of the first half of the dagger. We didn't do the pages yet. It was just the dagger was after we got the map pieces. About half the dagger. He was like level 5. Finally got to us. Was not possessing. He just kept spawning things in. Kept spawning the flutist right on the objective, like in the circle. So like, okay, this guy's very clearly a beginner. Once it got to the pages and I believe the dark ones, he managed to kill a few of us. He managed to kill a few of us. He killed the AOD Ash first. It was he killed the warriors first. It was the funniest part. It was very strange to me. How I was like, wow, like this guy is very clearly inexperienced. Like most likely just got the game or something, and is still able to kill us that easily. That's actually ridiculous. How easy it is, and it's very strange. Now, when it comes to I think when it came to a point where everyone was saying demons are too underpowered. And demon players became so demon brain and brain rotted. Like, I hate to compare it, but to DBD, it was very killer brain. Like but except unlike DBD, in DBD, if you see a killer being toxic to you, it fuels you more with joy as a survivor to know that you pissed them off, even though you didn't really do much. I had played DBD recently. Wesker just came out, playing with a couple of my friends. The amount of times that my friends got hit while they were on hook is ridiculous. There was one time my friend tried to flashlight save me from being picked up, or after the Wesker had picked me up, and he got a hate message. He got a hate message for saying because the killer had Franklin's demise on, so his item got dropped whenever he got hit. So he sent him a message or something about how uh he's like your flashlight saves don't work if you don't have it. Lol, something about like get better, whatever the fuck. And then I was like, that is ridiculous. I'm like, that was only the one time, by the way. It's the only time he used the flashlight. It's the only time he did. Because other than that, he didn't have it because of Franklin's demise. So that not making that comparison is very it makes sense now. It makes a lot of sense because listening to Alucard speak when it comes to anything that survivors are doing to help them survive, it is holy fuck. It is absolutely annoying. It is annoying to hear. There is so many, like I think just yesterday, he forgot. I don't even know exactly what happened. I just think either a survivor dodged or dropped their gun as they got scared. It wasn't as he was possessing them. It's just as they got scared, or either that, or I think he killed them. He literally, because when I looked at the stream, there were 2 people dead, and he's like, whatever, you're fucking pussy, no offense. He always says that. He always insults the survivors and then says no offense. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, maybe it's satire. Maybe he's just joking around and doesn't actually mean it. But he does it so frequently. And you can kind of tell just by like the way he says it that like there's something genuine about that. Like he means at least a little bit of it, you know, which is very strange to me considering the fact that he is the arguably biggest Evil Dead streamer on Twitch. When it comes to that, and it's hard. It's hard because all of his chat is like right behind him. They're like, yeah, those survivors are whatever, blah blah blah, and the other people that aren't like right behind him are people like saying like, hey, me and my friends like we want to try this new survivor like strat with this build, could try it against you or sometime or whatever, and he'd be like, yeah. I'm like, that's really it. It's very disheartening to see that especially in the Evil Dead community. I'm very new to the Evil Dead community. I started only really getting into it once the game was like announced or was close to coming out. My friend was super into Evil Dead. He was like, oh shit, we gotta watch the fucking movie. I gotta show you the movies now. I was like, sick. Got really into the movies, played the game. I was like, oh fuck. And I started like recognizing shit from the movies. I was like, this is sick. And then got in here, loved it a shit ton, and I was just like, I've been in love with Evil Dead ever since. And to see that happening in a community like this, it was which before, arguably, it was a very niche community. Because there are people that are fans of horror movies, which is also kind of a niche, from what I've heard. Like the horror movie community is also very niche. And then people like those like by proxy love Evil Dead because it's a horror movie or horror adjacent movie. And hearing it was just unexpected to hear this from the Evil Dead community, from how cool the concept is, right? A DVD style game where you can fight back, where you can beat the Evil Dead, where it feels like it's not Ash and the Evil Dead, it's not Ash versus the Evil Dead, it's not just the Evil Dead, it's you versus the Evil Dead. Even when you're queuing up, it says survivor versus player, you versus demon. Like it tells you, or versus Evil Dead, it says that. as you're queuing up. Like that's such a cool, just like a little thing. Like on the fucking main menu, it says Evil Dead in big letters. It's such a cool concept for people who really like these things, and it's so fucking hard to keep playing when it just feels like Evil Dead. It used to feel like versus Evil Dead. Now it just feels like Evil Dead. That's kind of it. It just feels like the Evil Dead is beating your ass. I have, within this past week, I have not won a single Survivor game or had a single Survivor game that has the closest I've gotten to winning was getting to the book, and guess what happened? The book got fucking destroyed by a warlord. So take that as you will. Especially, oh god, don't even get me started on the fact that you need to essentially upgrade to get more of to get your abilities stronger as a survivor, and then the basics just have their shit upgraded, like their damage from the warlord's basic puke, from the puppeteer's elite thunderstruck, to the fact that the basics can just explode, and that already causes a problem for how many jets that just spawn. And something I've noticed is that I have been getting found a lot easier. Not by the demon, but by the random basics that spawn for every demon, no matter what demon. I've been like, if you are just walking along, you will randomly get attacked by a basic. And there's been some times like, oh fuck, a possesses on me. I turn around, it's just a normal basic. Kill one basic, one more spawn. I have had basics spawn in front of me, like teleport, like they just appear. They just appear in front of me as I'm fighting one. It is ridiculous how demon sided this game is now, and I don't know when it happened because there hasn't been an update since Castle Kandar. I think there was a patch, but that was it, and that was soon after the update. There hasn't been like a game update for a while, so I don't know when this has happened. I don't know when this became a thing. I was having a lot of fun on both sides, and I just don't know what happened. I don't know if it's the newer demon players that are just like listen, this game isn't that fun, because that's the thing about demon as well, is that you if you are not a high level or like mid level, like 30 and above level demon, you will not win. You will it's hard. It's very, very hard to at the time, before at least, because I know I made that call about that very brand new demon that beat us. Or no, he didn't beat us. My bad. He just beat the shit out of us very, very easily at one point. But it's just, it sucks. This is all I can really say about it. I can't, the amount of times that I've queued into a Survivor game and just not been looking forward to it whatsoever. I don't feel good going into it, and sometimes yeah, it could just be me. Could just be how that I'm bad at the game. Maybe that's what it came to. It came to a point where I was having a midlife crisis about a game. A midlife crisis about a game where I'm supposed to be having fun. And I was thinking, I was like, maybe am I just that bad at the game that I'm losing this consistently on Survivor? When it comes down to that, no matter how bad you are, you will win a few games. When it comes to just games in general, no matter how bad you are, unless it is literally a 1v1 game and you just can't get better at it, and just is not for you, then when you are playing with other people, you are bound to win at least some point. Maybe just one game out of everything, you are bound to win at some point. You never hold a team back. You will get carried. You will get carried. Especially in a game like this. You could get carried. But the fact that I believe that I was so bad, and then was not, I was like, but then I would have been able to get carried at least, maybe just one game. In just one game, I'm just like bottom of the leaderboard. But every game, I'm like, unless I'm a support, I'm like I'm either first or second. And I'm like, I don't get it. It's so strange. It's so strange to hear. Like, it's very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating to, because I started off playing only Survivor because obviously there's more iconic characters to play when you're playing Survivor. There's the Ashes. Um, and then switching to Demon was felt like it was a brand new game. I was like, this is great. Played a shit ton of Necromancer. I was like, oh my god, this is fun. And then I started winning very, very consistently. It's very hard to lose a Demon game. It's very hard to lose a Demon game. And there's been a lot of arguments I've seen people using. It's like, oh, it's just Survivor mains complaining that demons are overpowered, and they haven't. If they played one game of Demon, they know whatever fucking bullshit excuse, right? So I felt this way initially. So that's why I wanted to start playing Demon. I was like, I think Demon's a little overpowered. This is before it was even like this. I was like, maybe Demon's a little overpowered. Played Demon, definitely not. Lost a lot of fucking games. I lost a lot of games. The only way I was able to get my XP up to like 15, or to my level up to 15 with Necromancer, was using spirit points from playing Survivor games. I had to switch to Survivor, get some spirit points, use it on Necromancer. Then once I got to 15, I was like, okay, I can play a little bit. And I started winning a little bit more. And then leveling up more, getting to max, started winning a lot more. And then now, within this past, I want to say, week or two, I've yet to lose a Necromancer game, and I've yet to win a Survivor game. It is very, very, very saddening that I can only have fun when I'm playing one part of a game. Especially when I just stated, it feels like an entirely different game when you're playing Survivors or Demons, which is a very good thing. Very good that you have two completely different feels in one game. It's very good dynamic to go off of. You play two completely different ways. And even then, when it comes to Demons, you can play a lot of different ways. You can play different. You play a different way with Warlord. You play a different way with Puppeteer. You play a different way with Necromancer. I think with Survivors, you play a different way, whether it go from leader to warrior to hunter to support, or from character to character. Some characters you play completely different from other characters. Pablo, you play completely different from Cheryl. Henry, you play completely differently from Scotty. When it comes to Ed, you play completely differently than it does to fucking Hunter Ash. When it comes to Anne, you play literally the complete opposite as you do as Lord Arthur. It is such a different dynamic between each and everything. It's the most fun you could have is playing as a Survivor. Well, it's also a lot harder. And it's meant to be hard because you're 4v1. So I understand that part. It's meant to be a little bit harder, right? But when it comes to a point where the meta for demons is to basic rush, is to spawn in basics, which are demons that already spawn in the map by itself, right? And then spawn in basics, possess them, and single out one survivor at a time and kill them. Once you do kill them, you get more points. You level up faster, which is ridiculous. I'm not saying they should take this out, but I'm just saying the fact that that the meta is to focus on one survivor, level up, use those points to get even stronger, so that way by the time they get the survivor that you just knock down and or not permanently, but killed and turn into a soul, you get more points to level them up. As soon as they resurrect them and bring them back, you are more leveled up, so that way you're more equipped to take on more of them. And then you go on, you kill more of them, you get more levels, you kill them again,
get more levels, and they keep dying, and they're dying so fast. They have zero time to prepare. They have zero time to run because they're in stun lock from how fast the attack speeds are, and from how laggy some games are. It's impossible to dodge. There's a lot of glitches when it comes to survivors. When it comes to survivors, there is a lot of times where if you have maxed out amulets and shemps, and you get knocked down, you come back up, it'll say you have zero. It will say you have zero shemps and zero amulets. So the amount of times where it'll allow you to pick something up, and then it actually goes back down, and then it still says zero. And then it says you can hold no more shemps, you can hold no more amulets. And you're like, what do you mean? And then you use one of them, and you find out, oh fuck, I actually do have some. And you pick one up again, and then you're back, right? It's the amount of times that I see demons complaining about things that survivors do when it comes to what using a weapon, finding a weapon, dropping their weapon when they get or when they get terrified, not when they get possessed, when they get terrified, and just ridiculous. I heard Alucard talk about that he's like, he just threw something out, was like, they should probably they should add something where you have to hold the interact button, so square PlayStation and then E PC is to hold down the button in order to drop a weapon. You have to take time to drop it, right? Instead of just being able to press it and drop it. Like, it's such like a weird request to when it doesn't matter if they drop their weapon or not, right? Because guess what happens? Guess what happens? That not only does that not happen all the time, it also doesn't matter because you drop a weapon, right? Let's say you just immediately get knocked out of possession, whatever, a little annoying. You don't lose all your infernal energy if you get knocked out pretty fast, which is something I noticed. At least sometimes. There's sometimes where I have a really low infernal energy and like I just get fucking knocked out, but there you still have infernal. You're able to get it pretty fast as a demon. So you get it back, you come back, you are constantly terrifying these survivors. You're constantly getting infernal energy back. Let's say if a survivor were play out this scenario, there are two survivors. One is already scared. You possess him. He drops the weapon. You possess him, and you immediately get knocked out by the other survivor that's there with them. You're like, fuck. You get out. You have your jump scare. You jump scare both of them. Possess either one of them, and the fact that you're able to torment them for that long, like, obviously it doesn't fucking matter because guess what? You're just gonna be able to terrify them and possess them again, like 5 seconds later. It doesn't matter if they drop their weapon or not. It does not matter. It only matters if they keep their weapon. Because if you have a hunter with a legendary double barrel, the entire team's dead. So the fact that you are you would complain that much about one little thing that will literally get the entire team killed, so you could see why they would do it. Like, I don't understand. The most demon players are like, I just want the game to be easier for demons, when most of the time they do not get to the book or the dark ones. They do not get to the book or the dark ones, and guess what? If they get to the book, it's dead. Book is over. Book is dead. It's gone. So it's very, very sad. That's enough for my rant. It's just I've been trying to play Survivor games. It's just not happening. It's very sad. It sucks. It sucks. I think I might have won a game against against like a new demon, besides the one I mentioned earlier. Like, but I barely won any. Let's say maximum 2 or 3. and I play this game every day. It is. Just, I don't. I'm just glad there's an update coming soon. That's it. I'll see you guys.